Hello, remote students. Here is your instruction for the word choice field guide, which is task number 4. So this is an assignment that we'll be doing every week for the next 9 weeks. So I'm going to walk you through it this one time, but then you should be able to do it the rest of, the rest of the quarter on your own. So the first thing you're going to need to do, well, here, let me show you what it looks like. So our learning target is for you to acquire and use general academic and domain specific words and phrases sufficient for reading and writing. So this is basically vocabulary, but because everybody has different background knowledge, everybody has different experiences, they have different words that they already know. So this is how you're going to be personalizing the vocabulary. So the instructions say to choose a word from this week's reading. Well, this week's reading, it comes to you from task number 1, which was read and use the TQE strategy, running into danger on an Alaskan trail. So what I'd like you to do is read through this, and I want you to find some words that you are unfamiliar with, either words you just flat out have never heard before, or you've seen them, but you're not really sure what the definition is, okay? You are now in high school, so there are certain words that I would absolutely expect you to know. So, don't pick any easy words. Don't pick any words that I'm going to be like, really? You don't know that? There are some in here that you might not know. But for example, in this paragraph where it says, when the bear charged, time stood still, I felt every millisecond. Okay, millisecond, you can probably figure out from the context clues. So that is not a word I'm expecting you to look up, okay? So really kind of look for words that you haven't heard from before or haven't seen or just aren't sure of. Then on the slide that's provided, you're going to create an informational field guide. What's a field guide, you might be saying? Well, field guides are usually used in biology where they study a particular species of animal and they tell you about all the different varieties, tells you about where that animal lives and how long they live and what do they eat and what their mating habits are and if they're migratory or not. It basically kind of is an informational piece telling you everything about that. Well, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to do that with this word. So what is in a word choice field guide? Well, definitely should have a definition of the word that has been synthesized from multiple dictionaries. What is synthesized? Well, that means that you've looked at multiple definitions of the word and you kind of create your own definition based on those. They're put together to create your own definition. So some examples of some dictionaries you can look up: the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which I do every day. We do the word of the day. You can look up a Learner's Dictionary. You can just type in dictionary into Google and see all the dictionaries that'll come up. So I want you to look up a couple of different definitions, and then from those, create your own original definition, okay? Key identifiers of the word. So that's going to be roots or affixes. Roots are like the basis of the word. And then an affix is something that's added to it. It might be 2 or 3 letters before the root or 2 or 3 letters after the root. So an example might be the letter A, the phrase AB, ab, is an affix that's added to the word normal, which means not. So abnormal means somebody who's not normal. You could also have something at the end like TOIN or SION. And those are added to kind of change the definition just a little bit. How does the word behave in the wild? Okay, so how is the word used? What's the part of speech? That the dictionaries are going to give you that information. What context or situations are the words used in? What is the conversation around this word? Is it really popular? Some dictionaries will show you the popularity of the word when it first started getting popular, and if it's kind of fallen out of use, or if it's just recently become really popular. Where is the word found in the wild? So give some examples of sentences from professionals using this word. And again, lots of dictionaries online will give you examples of how the word's being used in a professional manner. When you do that, please remember to include the author of the piece, where it came from. If they give you the date, include that information as well. What does the word sound like? So what is the pronunciation of the word? And a translation into another language. So if there's another language that you speak, or the word itself is from another language, you should translate it. You could also give some other, like if you're in German right now, this would be a great example to build your German vocabulary. So not only do you know what how it sounds in English, look it up in German or in Spanish as well. Images that are associated with the word. So I'm just looking for a picture. How is this word related to other words? So what are the synonyms? Words that mean the same as. Are there any antonyms? Words that mean the opposite. How does this word differ from similar words? How has the word evolved over time? So how was it used historically? What did it used to be used as? And what is it used as now? Again, that's part of its etymology. That's part of the history of the word. And a lot of websites will show you that information. How is this word connected to you? So obviously you took it from the reading, but how is the word connected as far as, can you see it being a part of your vocabulary for another subject? Is it a word that you could see using outside of school? Maybe it's something in a hobby that you might use. And your final analysis or your final understanding of the word. So your mission for this field guide is, for each text that we read in class, I want you to choose a word to explore in depth. You're going to create a field guide, and just to kind of give you a heads up, when we start reading To Kill a Mockingbird, which should be in about 4 weeks, you're going to be doing this, but you're going to be looking for 3 words in a chapter, and doing a field guide on how these 3 words work together. So the first 3 weeks, you're going to be kind of doing some practice. And then once we start reading To Kill a Mockingbird, I'm going to tell you which chapter I want you to do it from. And then you're going to be looking for 3 words. You're going to talk about how they work together. An example of a choice word field guide has been provided here for you. So it could look something like this. You don't have to do it exactly like this, but I just wanted to show you how they've broken it down into syllables, and it gives you the pronunciation. This right here shows you how the word has been used historically, synonyms, antonyms. You've got the origin of the word, how it started, its translation into Spanish, and the fact that it comes from Latin. I was looking in the news, found an article about women protesting during International Women's Day. They were called dissentient. Okay, so there you go. You've got the prefix dis in there. We're reading Animal Farm. So in this student's class, they're reading a book where this word makes them think of the definition of that word. And the final analysis. So what you think, kind of what you think about that word overall. So a slide has been provided for you. So you can fill this up, like I said, however you choose to fill it up. Have some fun with it, but I really want you to explore this word and get a really good grasp or understanding of it. If you have any questions, you know how to find me. Otherwise, happy vocab.